Hi, this is Daniela, and welcome to Bestie Life, the podcast, where we help you stop burnout now. If you're tired of running on empty, juggling all the things, and wondering when your life is supposed to feel better, you're in the right place. This show is your go-to space for real talk and practical strategies to help you protect your energy, create balance, and actually enjoy the life you're working so hard for. You'll get a mix of solo episodes and honest conversations with guests. My goal is to help you feel less alone, more empowered, and way more in control of your time and energy and well-being. So let's get into it. Hi, and welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to talk about something that doesn't necessarily get called out enough, I think, sometimes, and that's indecision. Not when it comes to like big, massive, life-changing decisions, but I'm talking about the everyday ones, some of the small, seemingly inconsequential ones that can really have an impact. Those might be things like staying in the same routine, even if you know it's not serving you. Putting off taking care of yourself because you think you, quote, don't have time. Delaying taking action on something you know would really help you. And here's the truth most people miss. Indecision can feel safe, but it's typically the most expensive choice you can make. So today I want to dive into that, how it shows up, how it's impacting us, and what we can do. So grab something to write with, grab your favorite beverage, and let's dive in. So let's be honest. There's a reason we keep doing the same things we've always done. You know, when we don't decide, we're not taking a risk, and so there's no risk of failure. We don't put ourselves in a position where we're feeling any kind of discomfort or anything like that, as well as we don't have to deal with the uncertainty of not knowing what's going to happen next. Even if we don't like what's happening next, at least we already know. And so by not always taking action, by being indecisive when it comes to things, we're giving ourselves a false sense of control. And so what's really happening when we do that is you're trading kind of your short-term comfort for long-term frustration, overwhelm, unhappiness, because nothing changes when we're doing the same thing. And when nothing changes, you can start to feel maybe mentally drained from being stuck in a system and a habit and a routine that's not serving you. You can end up just stuck in those same patterns and kind of frustrated with ourselves. And that's where we beat ourselves up. And that can be a real hidden cost to that indecisiveness. And one of the parts when it comes to that we don't talk about is the cost of inaction. You know, we talk maybe of the cost of making the wrong move, but we don't talk enough about the cost of doing nothing, because we think, well, it's not costing us anything because we haven't changed anything. But the things we're truly losing that are being drained from us are time that you can't recover, that you can't get back, that you can't go back and change. Opportunities that you might not have available to you again, as well as the confidence in your ability to trust yourself when it comes to doing something new. And every time you delay a decision, you don't take that action, you're reinforcing the habit of hesitation. And that's going to, over time, cause you to start to maybe second guess yourself a little bit more, overthink more, wait longer before doing the thing that's sitting in your heart that you've been meaning to do, that you want to do. And you stop asking the question most people ask, which is, what if I get this wrong? So you start to second guess more, overthink more, and you wait longer every time when it comes to taking that action. And suddenly it's not just that one decision, it becomes a pattern of how you start to approach everything in your life. And I don't know about you, but I can absolutely look back and think of the times I didn't take action, that I stayed in something that was safe, even if it wasn't serving me at that point in time, because whatever reason I gave myself at that point in time, so whether it was staying stuck in a job, not taking a bigger risk, maybe moving and finding a new job somewhere else, things like that. And so when we get to the point where we can recognize that that inaction is no longer serving us, now we can start to break that pattern. Now we can start to reframe how we're thinking about these decisions and be able to move forward. And so you stop asking the question, which is, what if I get this wrong? Because a lot of times that's what holds us back. And you replace it with, what will I regret not doing? What will I regret in the future looking back on this moment? So suddenly it's not just one decision, it's a pattern. And this question is powerful because it starts to shift your focus from fear to having clarity, from perfection to progress. I always talk about progress over perfection. It takes you from overthinking all the what ifs to just taking action. And your future self usually knows the answer. Our gut knows what's going to happen. We just avoid it because it requires movement, mentally as well as physically. And when we do this, the part that we overlook is that even the wrong, quote, wrong decision, and I am putting that in quotes because I don't think there's necessarily wrong decisions. There's just the ones we didn't plan for, that we didn't see as an option and not realizing how powerful and positive they can be. But anyways, we overlook the possibility from a decision that we didn't even plan for, the quote wrong decision, because either way, we're getting feedback, we're getting momentum, we're getting clarity, maybe even not on what we do want, but on more of what we don't want. I think that's so overlooked sometimes when you ask people, what do you want to do with your life? Where do you want to go? What do you want for dinner? So many times they're like, I don't know, because the possibility of what they could want feels overwhelming, but even just knowing what you don't want, what feels wrong, what's not aligned is just as valuable from an information standpoint. And because it helps you adjust, it helps you learn, it helps you refine your actions going forward. And the thing is, when you don't take any action, you don't get any of that feedback. And so then you stay stuck with the same questions, the same doubts, the same frustrations, the same patterns that got you there in the first place. So just know that action's going to create clarity. Indecision's going to keep you in confusion. So here's what I want you to take away with you today. You don't need to be 100% sure. You don't need to have the perfect plan. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to stop standing still. You need to do something different. And so the next time you're feeling stuck, whether it's at home, work, in a relationship, whatever pattern, with your workout routine, any of those kind of things, ask yourself, what will I regret not doing? And then take one step in that direction. Not 10, not a perfect step, but just one. We always talk about small micro actions, micro moments, because the goal isn't to get it all right. It's just about starting to move forward in that direction. So please get back to me. Let me know in the comments what action you took. If you're thinking, okay, I need to start taking action, but I'm not sure exactly which direction to start going in, I want you to check out my book, Balance Breakthrough. In that book, I have all these self-assessments, as well as there's a workbook for you where you can start looking at what you do like, what you don't like, what action do you want to take, what movement do you want to start making, what direction do you want to start going in, and that's where you're going to start getting some of that clarity that we just talked about. You can order it on Amazon, you can grab the link on my website, as well as let me know what actions you're looking to take, and I would love to be able to support you, cheer you on, and hear where you're going with this. So thank you so much for joining me today. Share this with someone that you think could also use this advice, and I can't wait to talk to you soon. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you got something out of this episode that really made you feel seen, supported, or just a little bit more grounded. If you have any questions or thoughts, I'd love to hear from you. And if you're up for it, please leave me a 5-star review. That will help more people find the show and join this community. I'll leave you with 2 of my favorite quotes. Alone we may be strong, but together we're stronger. And when we support each other, incredible things happen. So let's keep showing up for ourselves and each other, and maybe even have some fun while we're at it. I'll talk to you soon.